quick question before we wrap up here. Do you all think hold on, let me had the question written out properly. Do you all think that body count for men and women matter? Like for how many people that they slept with? Do you think that those matter?
We're talking my personal opinion, or are we talking in general?
Let's do general.
Okay, so in general, I think it matters.
For women?
It matters for women. It matters for women, biologically speaking. You know, women. I like to use the Twilight movie, the vampire movie.
Okay.
With the werewolf and all that. And with the werewolves, they would imprint on people. They would imprint on other people or whatever creatures. And once they imprint on you or vice versa, that's it. That's who they love. That's who they always gonna love. It's like falling in love, and you just get to one chance to fall in love, and you imprint. And with women, when you have sex and those chemicals are released, they basically makes you attached. It makes a woman attached to you. And then the more people they have sex with, the less effective that attachment is. Women are designed to be attached to men. That's why they get so attached after sex. Men aren't. We don't have that. That's why we don't be so attached. And the purpose is biological. It's natural. So, you know, women traditionally need men, right? So you would want to be under a man. You would want to be under a man's leadership and under his covering. And so there's biological things that just help to facilitate that. And nowadays, because women are having sex with so many different men, they're losing some of those natural instincts or that those chemicals that would bind them to men. And they're sleeping with a lot of different men. And then, of course, you know, we're seeing women getting bored with guys. Like, if you think about women from when we were younger, like high school age, when you kiss them, when you give them any attention, all they think about is you. They're not thinking about no other dude. You don't even have to sleep with them. When they were younger, when they were virgins, or when they had a very small body count, or maybe you were the only person they ever been with. That's the reason why men would be like, don't ever sleep with a virgin, because they will get attached to you. That's why. And women don't know that as much, but older men would teach us like, yo, you don't want to sleep with no virgin. Where'd that information come from? You think they just made it up? No, it's because women literally would get attached. And they're like, you don't want them problems. But nowadays, it's not like that, right? They're 30 years old. That's gone. You sleep with a woman, and they'll never talk to you again. They can do that real easy. So then what happens when that woman finally does find a man that they deem worthy, or whatever the case may be, and then they're with them for 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, and now all of a sudden they're bored. They want another man. And I think that's one of the biggest issues. Men, we're not like that. We can sleep with one woman and be just as attached to a woman, whether we've been with 100 women or one woman. Like, it's a different, we get attached based off of different things. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a difference. Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think I'm gonna have an unpopular opinion.
All right, well, shit, let's hear it. I love unpopular opinions.
I personally think it matters for both people, and I say that purely coming and looking at it from a more like spiritual sense. I don't know my body count. I mean, and a lot of that is because, you know what I'm saying, you know, back in the day, man, I used to drink, man.
We need to get you a shirt.
I know.
I used to drink.
I used to drink with Steve's confused face on it.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, back in the day, you know what I'm saying, you just go out and hit the bars, you know what I'm saying? People be like, you ever had a one-night stand? I'm like, one. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So, but what through my growth, like spiritually, I've learned that, as Chris stated, when it comes to women biologically getting attached and talking about vampires and them imprinting on you, I mean, that is a
sound like Herschel Walker out here.
I mean, that is a book, but I mean, spiritually, it's true. Like, you literally take a piece of every person that you are with intimately, It's the reason that we're not supposed to be with a lot of people, men and women. Now, do I think that men can have sex with 1,000 women and then still fall in love with one woman and say, "Oh, that's my baby"? Like, you know what I'm saying? Then yes, I do. Do I think that women can do that? No, I don't. Right? And it just shows in our world, like in our life. Women that have less body counts or less bodies, or they're easier. It's easier for them to stay connected. It's called pair bonding, right? Where you have the ability to connect emotionally and attach to a mate. And this has been proven. This isn't not just talking. There's some studies on this, and I believe that it's something that is more recent that has been talked about. But women who have lower body counts have a easier time of actually pair bonding or making an emotional connection
Imprinting, that's
to
what
two men, or imprinting. And that body count does not affect men, right? But so I agree with you on that. But where I, like I said, disagree or have the unpopular opinion is that spiritually you will hold onto a piece of every person that you have sex with. And there is a level of taintedness or I don't know, whatever, that piece of them stays with you. So if that person is narcissistic or if they have problems, you will take some of that. Now, it may not show up. Like it may not show in you in some way where you think it will. But I mean, you take water, and you have pure water, and then you just add little droplets and little droplets and little droplets over time, and it's just a little bit of something. By the time that fills up to this top jar, it's all mix and match. You have no idea what it is, right? It's just like when a person loses weight. Like when they lose weight and they lose it slowly over time, it's very difficult to tell what's actually happening, right? It's easier to tell when it happens more quickly. So people that get like weight loss surgery, they oh my God, right? They see you in a month, then they get surgery and, you know, boom, boom, boom. But over time, you people don't really notice. So when you have sex with 1,000 people or whatever, maybe for some it's 20 people, whatever, then over time, if you just don't detox or get rid of that piece that they left you, then by the time you're 50, 60, 70, 80 years old, you're just a myriad of a bunch of people.
A collection of people.
A collection of other people. I mean, literally for women, also biologically, it has been shown that they literally have biological changes. DNA is left in them after sex with a man, even if they didn't come in them. DNA. Like literally, you have cells, skin cells, bacteria that is on you, and you put that inside of somebody, and as a man, you go inside of somebody and you take that from them. So all of her secretions, all of her juices, all of her goodness, whatever, you pull out and it's on you. Your skin is made to absorb. So you are absorbing the things that you are in that are around you. So biologically, yeah, there's changes that happen, and on a spiritual sense, then it matters. So,
I think that when I think back to my experiences with women, like my first time losing my virginity, and the situation didn't go the way.
Never forget your first, man.
The situation didn't go the way I wanted to. I was just like, "Where you going? Where you going, girl? Don't leave me!" You know, that's probably like the biggest heartbreak that I've experienced. You know, but then I'll look back at some women who were a lot more, I guess, loose in a sense. They were some savages, man.
Savages.
You know, they became savages, and they were basically damaged goods in a sense. Like a lot of them, like I want to say names, but I'm not going to say names. But like, there's a lot of women that I know who sleep with a lot of people, and they're women that I used to be in relationships with, and I see how they are now. And like you would see the different relationships that they would post on maybe Facebook, and you see all these different men that they're with, and it's just like, oh man, this relationship didn't last that long. It's over. And
dating somebody.
Yeah, and then just like every different month or something, they're dating somebody
3 kings a year,
completely different, and then they end up having children with, you know, it's just like you can see the brokenness that happens the more that they sleep with someone, you know. So yeah, I definitely feel that it's a that the more women sleep with, I mean, as you all both stated, you know, the more you sleep around, it's gonna be harder for you to have a connection, a genuine connection with one person, since you know you have that experience, man. Just like that first initial shock, you know, then you get used to it, and it's just like, okay, we just doing this. This is just what we doing, you know. So
I want to push back on Steve a little bit.
all right, push back. Let's do it. Gravity.
When we look at nature, we do see women or females, you know, pair bonding with men, right? That are males. That's what we see. We don't see men or males in nature grabbing one female and sticking with her for the rest of their life. That's a human construct, as best I can tell. So that must mean that we're not equal in how we attach to each other, whether it's biological or spiritual. So while I agree with you that yes, you know, you take on from other people when you have sex with them, it's almost assumed that that's always a bad thing. Like if I sleep with an amazing woman and I sleep with 2 amazing women and I sleep with 3 amazing women and I'm taking on these amazing women, wouldn't that just make me more amazing? Like, why do we always talk about this sleeping? You're sleeping with all these people and you're taking on, okay, is it always bad? Like, is that just the assumption that we're taking on only bad? And if that's the case, then we're taking on the bad from our wife when we sleep with her. Like, it's always from this negative connotation. There's no balance in this. So if we could take on bad, that means we could take on good. So if I'm making good decisions with who I sleep with, whether it's 50 people or 1 person, I should also be able to take on good as well. And then also, you know, you have the spiritual or emotional detox. You can detox from people, which I wouldn't say that most people know how to necessarily do that, but I'm just saying you could do that. But I think men are built differently. I think men or males are built to be with multiple partners. I think that women are not. You know?
I agreed with you on that.
Right, but I'm saying like,
Your pushback is saying that you should be able to take.
if you could take on bad, you could take on good. And
Yeah,
why does nobody ever talk about the good that you could take on from the women that you sleep with?
I've
Or the men
definitely taken on the good of a lot of women that I've been with.
I
I mean, I
don't think
ain't
that
out in
you
the streets
can-
like that, but
I don't believe that we determine any of that. Like, I don't think that we determine any of that. And it's. I don't think that you, like, the average person knows. So, I mean, Chris, you make a good point. I don't know. Do we take on, I don't think that we choose.
do you,
I've never heard anybody say, well, when you sleep with someone, you know you take on good traits from them. It's always there's always a negative connotation.
Yeah, I mean, I think that,
do you think that you've taken on any good from the people that you've slept with or been with at all?
I've never thought about it in that way.
Because I mean, personal experience.
So are you?
I feel like I
So
have.
here's my thing. I think that there's a difference between a relationship and then you learning something positive from that person through the relationship, and then after the relationship, there's something good that you take. Like, that is an actual learning experience, and there's things that you're learning on a physical and an emotional stance. You can take things away from that. The answer would be yes. But just from a sexual encounter, how would you know?
Well, how would you know you're taking on something bad?
I'm saying that you take on a part of them. I didn't say bad.
That's correct, but the connotation is that it's a bad thing.
I said
Which is why you would say don't sleep with a lot of people, right?
Yes,
because
yes.
if the connotation was it was good, then you say sleep with more people.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you think that it would be better to have if you were going to make yourself a salad, right? Let's say that you're the romaine in that salad, right? Okay, well, you add tomatoes, maybe you add some cucumbers, you add some seasonings on it, right? You mix it up and then it's good, okay? You'd say that's a good salad. All right, but then let's just say that you're the romaine, but then you add tomatoes, then you add mushrooms, and then you throw in some strawberries, and then you add pickles, and then you add hot peppers, and you add cayenne, and then you add beef into it, and then some tuna, and then you add mayonnaise. Like, and you just add all this stuff, and it's just like, wait a minute. What is this now?
Cobb salad. People love them.
Okay, well, you're talking about the original salad. The original salad that I gave you was like 5 ingredients, right? But then when you now go from 5 ingredients to 100 ingredients, as we talked about food earlier, that salad is no longer a salad anymore. That salad is no longer probably good, even though all those ingredients on their own probably would be delicious. In a small mix, they'll probably be good. But when you mix them all with all these 100 ingredients, even though they're all good on their own, it's not going to be a good mix together. So that's the way that I see it.
And that's a good analogy, except for the fact that the human experience is based on a full spectrum of.
You sound like one of them gender studies people talking about spectrums.
It's based on a full spectrum of emotion and experience and everything of that nature. I believe that, variety is the spice of life.
But you're also coming from the sense of, and Mel was saying, like, basically, you're talking about someone that you have been with, but you know. You're talking like you know this person, or this is a relationship. Like, I mean, I'm talking about just if you're sleeping with hundreds of thousands of people, thousands is a lie. Hundreds.
You keep saying 1,000 people. I'm just like, yo, who keeps sleeping with thousands?
I don't know. I watched the thing with Blueface or something. He slept with 1,000 women last month.
Well, like 1,000 people.
month.
Yeah, they was like, yo, like, what's your body count? He was like 1,000, and they were like, wow, in your whole life 1,000 women. They were like, no, I was like last month. I don't know.
That's a lie.
It's probably a lie, but hundreds.
You didn't even got, how many women in a day is that?
Yeah, it's a lie.
That's a lot.
It's clearly a lie.
Cap.
But if you have hundreds, you're not in hundreds of relationships. These are just women that you're spending time around. That you don't know them. So I would agree with you if these are relationships. So Mel said, I there's things that I've taken. But I don't believe you're taking them from sex. I think that you're taking them from learning the person. Like, my last, it wasn't a relationship, girl I was dating, there's some positive things I took from her. Learning how to be more present. Like, that was one thing that she was upset with me about because I was always paying attention to my phone or something else, right? So I can't say that I got that because I had sex with her. That was our connection. That was from learning her as a person. But just sex,
there has to be.
But you assume that you got something bad from just sex because that was what you were.
It's not that I assumed it was something.
You were saying.
I did not say that it was bad.
That was your implication.
That's the way you took it.
That's how you said it because you warned against doing it. Why are you warning against doing something good?
The same analogy I gave the salad, I gave with this because when you just continue to add and you continue to add, even if they're good on their own, it may not be good to mix them all together.
Or it may be good to mix it.
Or you
could get a Cobb salad.
In what world?
What I'm saying is, who's determining how many different things you can add before it becomes bad? Who's making that determination?
Okay, well, I mean, I gave you 2 different examples. If I have water or if I take soda or anything, if you add too many things to it, it's no longer good. It's not going to taste good. The flavors are muddy.
I mean, it depends. You got Dr. Pepper. It's pretty good. It's got like 30.
It just depends on your taste. It depends on what you like to taste.
Would you say that a food that has 100 ingredients is going to be a good food? Or would you look at that food?
Depends on what the ingredients are.
It depends on how they mingle together. Yeah, of course.
What food has 50 ingredients that you say?
Well, you're probably talking about a dish because if you're talking about an actual food, then it's processed, and that's a trick question. But if you're putting together a salad and you could put all these different ingredients in it, you could have 30 or 40 spices. That's different foods. That's different.
You think putting 30 spices in a salad is going to taste good? 30 spices.
I don't know.
I understand the point you're trying to make, but I think that you're...
KFC has how many spices in their chicken?
8.
How many ingredients are in Dr. Pepper?
Like 38.
It's a lot of ingredients, man.
Okay, so 38. I think that we're all over 38.
I think
that we're okay.
But the point.
Hundreds.
You're saying astronomical numbers to make your point. That's
not.
Like,
that's not astronomical.
I don't think most.
You think
people,
30?
I don't think most.
50 is a.
I don't think most people are having sex with hundreds of people.
Okay, not hundreds.
I think most people have sex with less than 100 people.
I think that I've made my point. And I believe, and I think the salad and the water, where I think I gave 2 great examples.
And I think I gave you some great pushback.
Okay.
and I appreciate all that. So let's put a button on it because this can go on forever.
You the one that brought it up.
I know it. I got a football game to watch.
You also didn't even tell us about men.
Huh?
You gave one side. You said, yeah, I think it's not good for women to have sex with a bunch of people.
Well, a lot of times when I try to speak, y'all kept going. So I just
No,
said,
it was your
flesh out
turn.
your
You
thought.
stopped.
no. Well, okay, that's
Play,
fine.
play this
Play
A
it
back.
back. You'll see. You stopped.
I always give people, if I cut you off, I say I'm sorry, but
There's times where I tried to say, plenty of times I tried to speak on something that you all kept going. I was like, all right, I'm just done because I got to watch a football game. But yeah, hey, y'all get some great points, man. You know what I mean?
You still didn't give your feedback about men.
how many? Can men have multiple women?
And we'll talk about that next week.
Well,
See, this is why we get the hate.
Right.
Because we will give all of us and
Yeah.
then Mel just
Okay, you know what?
Just sits
Okay,
there.
turn it off. Cut it off. Cut the tape. Editor, cut the tape.
This is okay. All right, men. Does it matter how many women that men sleep with?
Or men that men sleep with.
Nah.
It's sexual partners, right, Steve?
Nah.
Do you take on DNA of men for men too, don't you?
Yeah, and it's
I don't
actually-
know
it's
nothing
actually
about
prob-
that,
It's
bruh.
actually worse.
I don't know nothing about that, bruh. I mean,
Actually,
but if y'all
worse.
seen that Bill Burr special, you know, shit, it'd probably be better if men sleep with men, right?
Oh.
But nah, I don't do men. But men sleeping, I think. I kind of, you know what? I feel. But men sleeping with a lot of women, I feel like it can be damaging. I feel like it can be, it probably won't be as damaging since men are, you know, women typically have control over who they, you know, allow sleep with them. And so if they allow the man to have control over them to have sex, you know, it's kind of like, okay, you know, you did this. This is your thuggism. But also, just speaking from experience, I personally try to limit how many women that I sleep with, you know, like I need a connection with them. And even if it's like some women that I had a past connection with, and if I try to sleep with them now,
Right, the same.
it's not the same, and so I won't do it. You know, like I won't get aroused at all. I need a connection.
You're a very specific type of person.
Yeah, and so
I
That is not true for me. Yo.
like, I mean, you're familiar with the person, but it's just like, I mean, I recently had this experience where I'm just like, this doesn't feel the same.
Oh, somebody tried to come back.
Does it depend on the experience you had with that person when you guys ended it though? Because like,
No.
said the connection.
It's all about where we currently are, not the past, because the past is done. But where we currently are, if there's not a certain amount of affection that's given, I just won't be able to get in.
Okay.
You know, I need a connection with some kind of affection. You know, so me personally, I would need that connection, and so I would say the more that you sleep with someone, and there's some kind of damage there, you know, or if it's just not the same, I feel like there will be a difference, you know. But I feel like it's worse for the women since, you know, you're going in, you know.
I'm gonna end it with this. I'm gonna end it this
You
week
say you get the last say.
because Steven, I don't want to go back and forth with you. Okay.
You're the one that.
Oh, y'all doing it now.
I didn't come at
Oh, they're
you.
doing it now.
I'm gonna give Steve a little push.
If you, yeah, the podcast needs it. If you take a woman and you take a man and they both get to pick potential partners, right? Or I don't even like saying partners, but husbands or wives. And the woman can pick a man who has a certain status and certain resources that we would consider to be, 10% or 1%. Does she care about that man's body count? You take the same man who can pick a woman, the woman he wants, and of course, she's got the looks and all the things that men want. Does he care about the body count? Who cares more? I think every time you'll find that the woman cares less than the man. If a man can choose, he's going to choose a woman that has less body count.
Right.
And then the thing that I like people say, they say, if you have a lock and any key can be used to open this lock, it's a faulty lock. If you have a key that can open up any lock, it's called a master key. That's the difference between men and women. We are not the same. We're not equal. And that's just what it is.
I don't
double standard.
I agree with that statement.
I like that, Steve.
I also. There's also ramifications to this. It's not like there's no harm done.